Hey guys, the probably two of you that are here because shiny dust skull's been announced, right? It's me, your boy Ryan Swag, right? So today I wanted to talk about this PvP format that I've been developing for the past month. It's been up here for some time, but then I don't know, one morning I woke up, and it came upon me. I was like, I can make this happen. I can make PvP happen in Pokemon Go, and I think in my last stream, a couple people were like, or maybe somebody messaged me on Twitter, and they were like, Ryan, all these. No, no, it was Reddit. Yeah, somebody messaged me on Reddit, and they were like, Hey Ryan, all these, Pogo YouTubers are talking about what they do for PvP in Pokemon Go and stuff like that, and they wanted to know my input, and I was like, yeah, I guess I could talk about my thoughts. And then when I was thinking about my thoughts, I was like, wait a minute. What I want to do for PvP in Pokemon Go, it can already be done. Oh man, it just takes a couple extra steps, and it's definitely a lot less satisfying than true PvP. And that's why I'm calling it pseudo PvP instead of PvP, because it's not. It is real PvP, but it's not. It's not. It's not me versus you, and we're fighting, and we're ooh man, who's gonna win? It's PvP with a bunch of extra steps, but I feel like it's accessible, and I feel like if this catches, it could we could probably make leagues out of it or something. I don't know. It could be an actual thing in Pokemon Go. I don't know. So yeah, my game plan was to have a video up yesterday explaining the format. So then with the stream, people could ask me questions specifically about the video. But my car battery died. But my car battery died because my alternator died, and it's in the shop now. That's getting taken care of. No biggie. But hassling with that, and then having to be stuck somewhere with my car dead twice because it was my alternator and not my battery. It really set back production time, and then I use Shotcut, and Shotcut can be really touchy. And what happened? Oh yeah, the MLT file wouldn't open, and I was like 3/4 of the way done with the video, and I was like, oh, it doesn't. The save file doesn't want to. Well, okay, So, but it's almost done. Oh man, some say it might be out tonight. Definitely want to have it out by tomorrow morning though, because I want to get the ball rolling on PvP. So now that I've been saying the word PvP for the past 4 or 5 minutes, what's it all about? Well, I made a little filter thing here. Where are you? Here? Yeah. Okay. So since people might jump in the stream a little bit later. I don't want people coming in being like, "Oh, what's he talking about? What's this PvP?" So I decided to make oh, whoa, that's right, I'm opposite now. That always messes with me too. Um, when I point right, I point left on the screen. Enough. So I made this so it was so people are oh, okay, so I have a frame of reference to this PvP nonsense. So yeah, Pseudo PvP Basics. So at the heart of it, it is a gym teardown race, which we've already had. People have already done gym teardown races in the past. People have also done controlling gyms for the longest amount of time, as far as a tournament localized kind of thing goes. So those have happened, but there is a couple nuances to my pseudo PvP compared to that. And that's that you have to use the same Pokemon on both attack and defense. So if you're going to be fighting my gym with a Machamp, when you make a gym for me to fight, it's going to have Machamp in it. So you're going to want a balance of good attackers and good defenders for this specific PvP format. And before I talk about the other two parts of the basics here, the inspiration for this pseudo PvP and having the same Pokemon as attackers and defenders, right? Kind of stemmed for what I thought Niantic was gonna do for PvP sooner than later, and that was to make sort of a personal gym, and maybe a battle box kind of system for trainers in Pokemon Go. Because as it stands, if we were to get PvP in like its true form, like my battle linked to your battle, and you can dodge my attacks and I can dodge your attacks, and I'm using a charge move, and are you gonna dodge it? You don't know. I don't think that's gonna work out too well in the current state of the game, because Leg City, you know, we're already having rebounding HP. I use a charge move. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I didn't use a charge move. All right, well, I'm gonna start charging it again. Oh wait a minute. I did use the charge move. Now my opponent's using charge move. I dodge it. Oh no, I didn't dodge it. You know, it's like Pokemon Go feel bad right now. And I think if we had a PvP that had like two people directly fighting each other like that, you know, the game would just turn into Pokemon Go feel worse. And I feel like a direct PvP format right now would be more contingent on who had the better connection, who had the better phone. Yeah, right? Yeah. Don't have much faith in PvP when PvE is so laggy. You know, who wants to play that? What I thought Niantic would do sooner than later was have our personal gyms. And the idea behind this is that I'd make a battle box, right? I'd have like a friend code, and I'd assign 6 Pokemon to like my battle box for that friend code. And then people that would challenge me to a Pokemon battle, they'd fight a gym comprised of the Pokemon from my battle box, and then I'd fight their personal gym with the Pokemon from my battle box. And then it would, like, you know, time who did it the fastest, and maybe they might have some how much damage you took factored in or something. I don't know. Like, it wouldn't... I can't imagine Niantic making something that everybody's 100% satisfied with, but it'd still be something that we don't have now, and I feel like it'd be easily, you know, obtainable, since it'd be based off of a system that we already have, kind of thing. So that's what I was thinking that they're going to do with it. And this idea also kind of stems from back in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. You had your secret forts, and if you mixed data with a friend of yours, you know, you linked and then you mixed data or something, then their fort would appear in your game, and you could fight an NPC of your friend, and your friend could fight an NPC of you. So it's not like you're actually battling your friend, but you're battling like an AI version of your friend, which, you know, it's not the same thing, but it's still something, right? And I felt that that was something that Niantic could give us, or could have already given us. I don't know. Apparently there's some Pokemon Go knockoff game called, like, Draconius or something like that people are talking about, and it literally looks like it's just like, it looks like just the shittiest ripoff of, like, I don't know. But people are like, well, there's PvP in it, and I haven't looked at what the PvP is like for that, but I imagine it might be something similar to what I'm cooking up here. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like that kind of PvP is something that we could reasonably obtain, you know, in the near future, since it'd be based off of a system that we already have. And while it wouldn't be perfect, it would still, you know, develop a meta around it. You know, it's like, oh, what strategy are you using to attack this gym? You know, which Pokemon, you know. Real-time 1v1 in Drac. Azza, are you a Drac expert? Is it awful? Oh, okay, you don't know. Like, I don't know, it just, I don't know. 1v1, you know, that's something that we could simulate without extra steps, you know, for PvP, but in Pokemon Go, it's such rock, paper, scissors, you know, it's like, the battles wouldn't really be too intriguing, in my opinion, if it was just 1v1 in Pokemon Go, because it's like, oh, I'm using a Dragonite, you're using a Vaporeon, well, I guess you lost, you know, like, oh man, I'm using Tyranitar, oh, using a Vaporeon again, I guess I lose, you know. So another nuance that I'm throwing into my Pseudo PvP here, right, is when I was thinking this up, I wanted to do a tournament to, like, kind of show it off, which is another reason why me getting information on this has been delayed, because I'm trying to wrangle up, you know, Valors and Mystics in my hometown to fight me and fight each other in this PvP format, which it's proven a lot more difficult than I imagined it would be. A lot of conflicting schedules, right? So it was like the idea of getting 6 people together from each team, 12 altogether, you know, because I can't build a gym by myself. You know, I need 5 other instincts to help me out, and so on. You know, it really was like, it was a struggle, you know? And then that's when it hit me that there's, to do it in the Battle Spot singles kind of way. If you're not familiar with Battle Spot singles, it's a competitive format in the Pokemon console games, and it's where you have a 6 like a pool of 6 Pokemon, you know, but for each fight you only select 3 Pokemon from your pool of 6, and then it's the best 2 out of 3 that wins the fight. And in theory, you know, thinking about in theory, haha, um, thinking about it, I think that might make for even more interesting fights though, because we're used to doing 6v6. You know, it's like, all right, you get past the Blissey with your Tyranitar or your Machamp or your Dragonite, and then you just rock the rest of the gym with your Dragonite or, you know, Machamp or Vaporeon or something. You know, so I felt like while the battles 6v6 would, you know, be a little bit more like satisfying, like feeling in a sense, doing it 3v3 style, you know, I felt would emphasize like sort of like risk assessment and like more like skill rather than like how many Pokemon you can power through with your Tyranitar before it faints kind of thing. So with Pseudo PvP, you only need 2 people from your team to help you out rather than 5. So, because the gyms would have 3 Pokemon and you'd be attacking with 3 Pokemon. And then I was talking with Falial, Team Mystic member that I fought in my PvP little practice tournament thing. And he suggested that you could even have like the attackers rotate each round. So it's like round 1, Team Instinct versus Team Mystic. It would be like, you know, Ryan Swag versus Falial. And then like round 2, I'm on the same team of 3, you know. Then it's like, oh man, Higgs Jr. is now entering the fight. You know what I mean? And he's gonna fight other Mystic player, Carrie, Eric7. I don't know what her screen name is right now. Carrie. You know? So then it's like, you know, everybody gets to participate, and it's not just like, Daddy Selfish Pants, come on, I need 2 people to be my team. I need you to, like, you know, be what I can't be. I'm just using you. Now everybody gets to participate. Everybody gets to share in the action, you know? So I felt like that would be, you know, a bit more entertaining as well. So despite the setbacks, I've got the video about 3/4 of the way done. And yeah, I'll probably upload this stream right away on the YouTubes, like get some pre-hype for it. But I intend on releasing the actual video on the PvP format tomorrow morning. What is like in 12 hours for my viewers that aren't in my time zone, you know? So yeah, I plan on releasing that, and it goes over everything in a little bit more detail, like specific rules to the format to like make a bit more sense. Rule number 1 is no Blissey. Little known fact, even though Blissey isn't the best attacker in the game, it's really slow at attacking, it defeats most Pokemon faster than they can defeat it. So if you were to just use Blissey as a wall on your team and you were to avoid fighting with it, then you'd get like a huge time boon advantage over your opponent because they'd still have to fight your Blissey. And even if your Blissey did have to fight, it would still be, you know, sloshing through Pokemon faster than they can slosh through it. So I felt like Blissey put like this like it just over centralized the meta from observing its performance, you know, on Pokebattler and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't want like, oh yeah, this exciting PvP format where every single fight is Dragonite, Tyranitar, and Blissey. It's completely different than gyms. It's not. It's just Tyranitar and Dragonite and Blissey every fight, every battle. Nah. So yeah, so I banned Blissey to open it up. And there's like a little concern with Dragonite. Dragonite's really strong, but I don't think Dragonite's like too strong. You know what I mean? It can like you use an Ice type, use a Fairy type. You know, hard counter Dragonite that way. You know, Dragonite beats Dragonite really fast. You can use an Outrage Gyarados, slap up Dragonite, rock attackers, right? Yeah, and Machamp would also be, you know, one of the ones. It was basically like, yeah, Blissey and 2 Blissey counters. Oh man, exciting fights. Yeah, the meta. Oh, what's he gonna use? Is he gonna use Blissey, Dragonite, and Machamp? Or Blissey, Dragonite, and Tyranitar? Or Blissey, Dragonite, and Gyarados? Oh man, but if you use Gyarados, he's gonna be weaker against Blissey. Like, it'd be so stupid. I don't know, like, I don't agree with that nonsense. But yeah, with Dragonite being included or not being so strong, you know, it's like rock types also, counter Dragonite in a way better than Dragonite fights them. So I feel like there's like a large, sizable, reasonable pool of Pokemon that can deal with Dragonite really well, where Dragonite is more of like a massive threat rather than just like an OP beast of burden. But this is a brand new kind of format, I guess we're gonna see what happens, if it even happens. I don't know, like... another interesting thing about the format, breaking away from the rules here for a moment, is that it does have the option for non-localized play. Oh man. Yeah, basically, like, and I guess tying into the non-localized play, two players from the same faction could even fight each other. Where it's like, let's say, I got a friend in, like, I don't know, Minnesota, and I don't want to drive to Minnesota to fight them in this PvP thing, but if I know 3 members from a faction that's not me that are willing to, pretend to be his gym, or if I have 3 accounts specifically for this PvP format, TOS violation, yeah, okay, it's to play this, I don't know, PvP nonsense, whatever, so it's like, so if you have like 3 people on either side of the globe willing to fill in for your team, for this match to happen, then that could be a way for people to fight non-locally. Because all you have to do is have the same Pokemon with the same movesets, But yeah, that ties into another rule for the format, is that there's like a level clause, level cap, and you want to have consistent levels, so you have like a consistent performance of battle, you know what I mean? Especially when you have people like acting as your team's like surrogate, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh yeah, the only reason why you won is because you've got your maxed out level 40 Pokemon, and that's lame. But if you had like a standardized sort of leveling, which is easy to do in this game with the Stardust and everything like that, then it's like, oh hey, it's a more, it's more about skill and strategy, rather than who's amped up the most, And for these like level caps, I was thinking like 20 could be a really good one, since that's the raid catch, egg hatch kind of level. You don't really have to break the bank at all, really, to have Pokemon for that kind of format. And I feel like level 30, people would probably agree with more, because it just sounds better. But in reality, the difference between like level 20s and level 30s fighting is actually pretty small. Like they do the same damage to each other. A Dragonite attacking a Vaporeon, for example, will do like 7 damage per hit with its Dragon Tail. That's not an actual number, just an example here. But yeah, level 20 Dragonite, 7 damage to level 20 Vaporeon. If they're both level 30, then, Dragonite's Dragon Tail, I don't know if this is the actual figure, but it would still do the same damage. It would still do 7 damage. So the difference between these two formats would be the HP pools. So it's like, so it's like the HP is more, so the fights last longer. And you also have a little bit more room for error. Like if you flub a dodge, it won't be as like big of a deal. But if you do level 20, the fights go faster. Your Pokemon, both on offense and defense, will faint sooner. You know what I mean? So it puts a lot more pressure on dodging those charge moves at the critical moment, and like weighing your risks. Like, should I dodge this move or should I not dodge this move? Worrying about the clock, since time is brought down. The base time is brought down significantly since the fights are going faster. So, I don't know, I feel like level 20 might be a bit more hardcore than a higher level fight. Like, oh, you want to fight me in Pseudo PvP at level 40? What are you, some kind of weenie? Let's do this level 20 like men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think level 20 is a bit more intense. And in my hometown, we went with level 20 because a lot of the members were like, oh, well, I don't want to waste Stardust for this. And I'm like, it's reasonable. I don't want to waste my Stardust either. Level 20, it's basically the same, just a bit more intense, And I'm also going to be posting the battle between me and Falial, so that'll be coming up soon, right? I haven't fought the Valors yet. There's just a lot of schedule conflicts going on and miscommunication, so I'll be fighting the Valors probably on Monday, but until then, my battle with Falial. But yeah, Falial definitely exemplifies the need to dodge, because he You know, spoiler, dodged really poorly and a lot of his Pokemon fainted really fast. So yeah, it was a pretty intense fight, and I was actually surprised. I thought me fighting Faliel's team, even though in a couple of the matchups I had a very clear advantage, like I thought it was going to be like a walk through the park, but I was like, oh shoot, like, you know, I got hit by charge moves that I was like, oh man, like dude, this is like really close to the wire. You know, if Faliel was performing a little bit better, like I'd be you know on the ropes here a little bit. You know, so I found it to be a pretty satisfying fight. You know, so I don't know if the format gets popularized more and more people are into it, then more people will be prepared to participate in it. And yeah, who knows? And since it can be like done like non-locally and stuff like that, you know, like oh man, maybe I start coming after them pogo YouTubers and maybe it popularizes the format more because you know I know that they want PvP or at least you know a lot of them say they want PvP and that would be some intense stuff. You know, I really if there was any YouTuber I'd really want to PvP with, it'd definitely be Funky Show. Like I don't know if you guys know Funky Show, but that guy's got some mad skill. Like he like I know he doesn't like actually do it like in his head consciously, but he like times out his taps and his swipes and stuff like that. Like he knows, you know. So it'd be I don't know. I think I'd probably lose that one. But yeah, no. So non-localized formats and interesting spectacle battles, stuff like that. But yeah, other rules: no healing between battles, and I want to clarify battles and rounds. So it takes 3 battles to beat a gym. So after I beat the gym once, I have to go and I have to fight the gym again. So it's kind of like an endurance test for the fighter because you don't want your Pokemon to faint out before you're done fighting the gym or wow, that was pretty sad, you know what I mean? So in between those fights, you really can't heal because it's like the gym Pokemon are getting weaker anyways, you know, so why should you be staying the same strength? You know, so that's the theory there. And yeah, in the test battle, the battles were pretty intense. Like, you know, I had one of the fights, I had like the clearest advantage and it was still really tough because I missed a couple charge moves and I was like, oh geez, like frick. Like man, I thought this was gonna be a walk in the park. This is not a walk in the park at all, you know? And then I guess another rule, a more obvious rule, is like no burying the gym. And I think like the fact that gyms can be buried by any passerby, any magical spoof man, you know, all that kind of stuff, makes it a little bit more challenging in a way to do the pseudo PvP. You know, it's pseudo PvP. You know, we're just taking what we have in the game and we're trying to make the best of it, you know. So, of course, people can mess with it in some ways. So, yeah, so since, like, people could, like, show up and fight the gym randomly or show up and start burying the gym randomly, if you were to engage in a pseudo PvP battle with another team of 3 trainers, you'd probably want to pick a location that you think that won't be fussed with, maybe a time of day where you don't think you'll be fussed with at that location, and to not publicize the battle or at least the location. And even when you are doing it, if you don't publicize it and all that stuff, have some backup locations in mind because yeah, PvP in the woods, right? Meet me in the woods. It's going down. Yeah, I'm not gonna murder you. We're gonna have PvP. What? You know. But yeah, no. Pseudo PvP, right? But yeah, so people being able to fuss with you. I don't know. The way I see it, if I were to post online like, oh man, guys, PvP battle going down at this location with these guys. We're gonna fight. It's happening at this time, this location. You know, all it takes is Spoof Daddy 420 to come in and ruin everything. You know what I mean? So be a little bit more careful with it because there are trolls in the game, and people might accidentally troll you and not even know it. Like there was one time where I was trying to do a video about like which Pokemon can fight like types of gyms the fastest, and for the very first take. The one of the people that was like helping me out was like really waffling with which Pokemon they wanted to put in the gym, and I was like, just put in the Pokemon, just do it, man. And they're like, oh, I don't know if this is the right moveset. And then somebody like literally just drove up, and we're like, no. And they dropped in at the top of the gym, and they like put in like a Pidgey, and we were just like, no. And we had to fight the whole gym to clear it, to restack it, to just fight it again. Like it was. So stuff happens, and you got to be prepared. Have those contingency plan. Oh wow, why can't I point at you? Have those have those contingency plans ready, you know, because, you know, stuff happens. Pseudo PvP. It's not perfect PvP. It's not actual PvP. It's pseudo PvP. But yeah, and if you do want to like publicize the fights, though, what you can do is use like a screen recorder, like AZ screen recorder is what I use. And if you record it and your opponent records the fight on their phone, and you get the video files and stuff, you could like, you know, put them next to each other and be like, oh man, PvP fight. And that's what I'm doing with Falial, when I'm doing on Monday with the Valors. So, you know, and it kind of like putting that with some music and stuff like that, it really does like, you know, it does like capture the illusion of PvP. Like you guys saw my a little promo picture where it was like, oh man, let's see if I can pull that up in an easy way. So yeah, you know, the battle with me and Falial there, you know, and these are the 3 Pokemon I had selected for the fight, and those are the 3 Pokemon of 6 that he had selected for the fight, and oh man, Lapras is fighting Donphan, and Donphan's fighting Lapras. Ooh, who's gonna win? Oh look, he's already switching on his Donphan. Good move there. You know, ooh, pseudo PvP. So, bam. Yeah, so that video's done, and you know, it's a matter of time before I post it, because if I posted it now without anything explaining what's going on, people are going to be like, oh, what the F is this? You know, so, ooh, daddy, pseudo PvP. I lost my Twitch thing. Too many icons. I don't know what you mean by that, but I do know that I lost the tab that I wanted. There we go. Yeah, no, I got a lot going on my desktop. I'm a very messy person, very disorganized individual. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Oh god, how do I thumb? Look at that tackboard. Does that look like the tackboard of an organized individual or somebody? Well, you know, actually, it's pretty helpful, to be honest. So, yeah, who's organized? You know. Oh yeah, tease me about the desktop. Yeah, no, you definitely should. My desktop is awful. You know, it's like once every like 3 or 4 months, you know, like I'll have some evening where like, you know, I'm up and I can't go to sleep and I'm like, well, I got nothing to do, and you know what, this desktop needs some cleaning up, and then I clean up my desktop then, and then it looks really nice for like 2 days, and then it's like, oh man, I don't have a meme folder, but I really want to save this meme so I can use it later, and then it all just it takes over. But yeah, pseudo PvP. I'm pretty stoked about it. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions about it that you want. Yeah, if you're curious what Pokemon are good in this pseudo PvP format, like I've had literally one battle. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I'm now an expert. But like, you know, from my knowledge of gym defense and gym offense, and then the synthesis of that knowledge, thinking about the PvP situation, you know, Dragonite, obviously, really good. You know, I was like, maybe I should ban Dragonite, it's so good. But it's not that good. It can be beaten, and you know what I mean? Another really good one is Gyarados. And the reason why Gyarados is so crazy good is it's got Dragon Tail, which is good on offense and defense. It's got that Hydro Pump, which can just annihilate people that don't dodge it. And then it's got Outrage, which can like... Outrage is one of those attacks that you can easily get like animation locked when it starts and then you can't dodge it kind of thing. And it's also a really good answer for Dragonite. And then on top of that, electric types are kind of weak in this format. Like, I'm not saying don't use them, because, you know, Ampharos, Jolteon, and what's it called? The fish, Lantern. Lantern are very good attackers for the format, especially when you consider, you know, the other water types in it. But it's like, electric types, I feel, are going to be a lot less common in this format because for the most part they are more frail, you know, so they're only really good for like attacking. They might hold you back on defense. If you slot one in and your opponent isn't using a Gyarados, then it's like, oh man, I'm going to have a fun time, you know, attacking nothing in a really special way, you know what I mean? So that you know, bolsters, you know, Gyarados as a Pokemon because it's one true mega weakness alleviated, because people might not use that electric type attacker, you know. Another obvious good one is Tyranitar. You know, it's just, yeah, Ryan Swag, list off all the OP Pokemon that we already know are good, you know. But yeah, Tyranitar, The main reason why it's really good is because it's got that stone edge. Believe it or not the crunch, the stone edge. Because Dragonite and Gyarados are so good, so it's like, oh man, I want something that beats them down. Lapras and Cloyster are also really good Pokemon, so you know, having that rock type attack to slap them, really helpful. In that same vein, Golem, really good. Golem has like one of the best DPSs in the game, you know, with the rock throw and the stone edge. And then, oh dear, belch. Golem also has Rock Blast, which is a multi-bar charge move, which can, you know, proc more often when it's the defender. And rock type DPS is pretty dang neutral, hits a lot of things, so really good mon there. Vaporeon is undeniable. You know, I know that it doesn't do so well against Gyarados and Dragonite, but it's like definitely one of those Pokemon that if you're not prepared for, will just wreck you, you know, so yeah, any question? Best Pokemon is Weedle, they never expect it. Oh man, dude, it's oh man, no, this person brought their level 20 Weedle. I better watch out, it's gonna sweep my team. Good luck with that. So, you know what, if I ever am in a PvP tournament, I'm gonna use a Weedle. I'm gonna name it I'm gonna name it that, and people are gonna be like, "Whoa, why are you using a Weedle?" And I'm just like, "Cause it's so powerful." And then I'll like win, never using the Weedle, because if I ever used the Weedle, I'd probably lose. But I'd win, and it'd be on my team, and that's all that matters, right? Right? That's all that matters, right? Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see how that goes. Other cool Pokemon, Fairy types, really good. I'm talking about that Wigglytuff, that Clefable, that Gramble. You never think about them, but Fairy types, you know. So Dragonite and Gyarados are super good with their dragon attacks in this format. Fairy types are resisting them doubly, right? Immunity tier resistance against the dragon moves. And you're like, oh well, Tyranitar is also really good. Also resists dark type attacks. And then Machamp and Poliwrath, I didn't talk about them before, but they're also good Pokemon for this format, you know what I mean? Also resist their fighting type moves. So it's like, they're kind of like this Swiss Army knife of like good offense and defense that you don't really think about because they don't shine on gym offense in general, because you want to use something with higher DPS, not something that lasts a bit longer, you know what I mean? And then on gym defense, we all got the secret strat with Clefable, but like Wigglytuff and Gramble aren't as hot, you know what I mean? But when you consider the fact that you're using them for both offense and defense, and you gotta beat that Dragonite, you know what I mean? Then the Fairy types kind of up in value, you know? So my battle with Foliol, I used a Granbull, and I think he used the Dragonite Tyranitar Machamp combo, and my Granbull was just like, yeah, you know? Muck might be useful until Gen 3. Yeah, I mean, doing the simulations, Muck is definitely one of those Pokemon where it's like, decent on offense, decent on defense. I don't know where its poison type DPS might come in, but the poison type DPS for the most part is unresisted. And oh, you're probably talking about the fairies. You know, with my 8-second delay here, you're probably gonna type in like, I'm talking about the fairies, Ryan. Yeah, dude, Muck be slaying them fairies like nobody's business. So, handful of interesting Pokemon. One Pokemon, ooh yeah, people would probably be excited for this one, is Arcanine, right? With that Wild Charge. And you're thinking like, Ryan, so like, what? Yeah, dude, Wild Charge Arcanine. Beats down on Gyarados with that electric type DPS really quick. Resists and beats down on the ice type Pokemon. Fire type, resisting ice. Electric type, super affecting them. You know, and then you got the fairy type Pokemon. Fire types resist fairy. Little known fact, you know, so they're going to be like hitting him with a wiffle ball bat while he's wild charging all over their face like the fierce doggo he is. You know, so another pretty hype Pokemon for the format, you know, so I don't know, I feel like Pseudo PvP, if it gets popular, it's not gonna like change Pokemon Go as we know it, but it will definitely bring a lot of Pokemon a lot of people don't think about to light, and it does give an interesting new competitive format, and right now Pokemon Go doesn't have a competitive format. And quite frankly, I really want there to be one, and I feel like with Pseudo PvP that might be achievable. I don't know, I'm going to make the videos and post them and, you know, see how Reddit responds, you know, see how people respond to it. Maybe they'll be like, oh man, this is actually really cool, we should try this out. Or maybe they'll be like, That's not real PvP. This is garbage. Why did you waste your time making a video on this? Like, I don't know. I want it to be a thing. So maybe in the future, Niantic might see it. Oh, golly gee. Yeah, that'll never freaking happen. But they might see it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Unfortunately, it won't fill the end game void we are missing. I'm just saying. If this becomes a tight, fan-run competitive format, I could definitely see PvP fill in an endgame void. Because, I mean, with the console games, there is no endgame to the console games. Like, oh, get every shiny, oh golly gee. Like, no, that's not an endgame. Sorry, it's not. The endgame for the Pokemon, console games is like, be the best at PvP. I mean, there are other things you can do in the games. Might be selling it short, but like the end result is fighting people competitively. That's why you're staying with the game. That's why you're breeding new Pokemon, trying to get those movesets, getting those IVs, building the roster up, getting those egg moves so you can fight harder and stuff like that. So if there was a competitive format, one that, favors like, strategy and skill and nuance and stuff like that, I could see it taking off. Wishful thinking, because it's my PvP format. It's my baby. I made it. And I really can't say that I made this format. Other people, I had this like basic idea in my head like a year ago. So obviously other people have like the same idea out there. But I think it's something that could be appealing to the masses. I don't know. Obviously I want like a better attack system in Pokemon Go, being able to use like a third charge move, or like maybe have like the raid bosses operate on a gambit system, sort of like how they do as AI in the old console games, like oh man, I'm fighting a Pikachu, instead of doing rock attack I'm gonna do ground attack kind of thing. That'd be interesting. But yeah, definitely agree. Like PvP and new movesets and all that kind of stuff, it's not like Niantic's so slow, and it's kind of like I was reading up on some drama with the Draconius Go thing or whatever it's called. Apparently like Niantic's like suing them now or whatever, and then like their response was like, oh, they're just jealous because we've done more than what they've done in a year, and they have billions of dollars, and we've got our small team, and they could do a lot better, and they're not. And that's the general consensus I feel like every Pogo player has, or it's like, I don't know, I feel like Niantic is like giving us this little artificial drip of content, and you could say like it feels that way, but at the end of the day, if you really reflect on everything Niantic does, it's like they're not really fixing their glitches that fast. They're not really giving us content that fast. And sometimes when they give us content, they give it to us in like some weird wrong way. And it's like, what? And they're like, oh yeah, we gotta fix that. Oh, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it takes to run a gaming business or anything like that. But the general consensus amongst like about everybody in the universe is like, why is Niantic, why do they take so long to do stuff? Why can't they just fix their glitches? Like, didn't it take us like a month to a month and a half to like have Instinct players get Spark back? Well, that should be something that could be like spot fixed in like less than a day, but it took them a month to get our mascot right. Like, nonsense. I don't know. I don't trust Niantic to give us PvP anytime soon. So I say we bring the PvP. Who knows? Maybe I wasted all y'all time on this Thursday telling you about this PvP format that isn't even real PvP. So thank you guys for watching, humoring my pseudo PvP format. If you think it's garbage, you can type in and be like, yeah, Ryan, it's kind of dumb. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know. Oh, it's my baby. Come on, get my baby. I don't know. I had a lot of fun playing it. Yeah.